everyone, welcome to our channel. This is TTF Power. I don't know how many times we have live streaming here. So, firstly, I want to thank all the people who subscribe us. Now we have about 20 subscribers, around about 2 weeks. Thank you all the people here. And again, if you're interested us, please subscribe us at the right corner of this video. Thank you everyone. Then, last time live streaming, our colleague Amanda talking about 4 facts of the power line hardware fittings. So, what is the topic today? You remember the first live stream? We talk about the insulators. Today, we are also going to talk about insulators. Yes. And these are all the parts I want to talk in today's speech. First part, what is the insulators? I will definitely give the definitions of the insulators. Then I will tell you the 3 categories of the materials of the insulators. In this part, I will also talk about the primary specifications of the insulators. There are 4 of them. So, in the second part, I will tell you the 6 types of the insulators. And in the fourth part, I will talk about the 6 features of the insulators. Then, the very, very important part is, at last, I will tell you about some tips when choosing the insulators. Now, let's start today's speech. So, what is the insulators? Do you remember what we are talking about in the first live stream? Yes. The electrical insulators is an important part for building the overhead lines and power line system. It is regularly installed on power towers, shafts, or various constructions to hold the electric stream back from spilling to the undesirable location from the overhead connectors. We can also call them electrical insulator or power insulator. So, let's go into the second part, the materials of insulators. In this part, I will tell you about the various kinds of materials of making electrical insulators. The most widely recognized material includes porcelain, ceramic, silicon elastic, polymer, and glass. Each of these protecting materials have distinctive physical protection properties. It is crucial to know the properties of each electrical insulator materials before picking it. So, what are they? There are about 3 kinds of materials of insulators. I will introduce them in detail. The first and the second type of the materials is the glass and porcelain insulators. I will introduce these 2 together. Glass insulators can be recognized as the earliest insulator in the world. It appears in the 18th century. It can also be used as a telegraph. However, After porcelains and the ceramic insulator introduced in 19th century, glass insulator diminished for a while. Why? Of course, because of their quality. To overcome this problem, experts improved the quality of the glass insulator. They expand the lifespan of the glass insulator. Then, the advanced glass insulators are normally used today. Compared with other types of insulator, glass insulators present a long lifespan. Then, the third type of insulator materials is polymer insulators. It contains a fiberglass bar layer by polymer weather pattern shells. These condition shells can normally evolve from silicon versatile. Scarcely any various substance may similarly be used for weather pattern shells, including terpolene, EPDM, and so on. Polymer insulators are inconsistently introduced as silicon flexible insulators or composite insulators. They are around 90 lighter than porcelain types. In any case, basically same or better. So, next part in this part is the four primary specifications by you purchasing them. First one, high mechanical strength to support the load. Second one, high electrical resistance to prevent the leakage of current. Third one, the insulating materials should be non-porous. The fourth one, the materials should be free of impurities. So, these four properties, you need to check it before you buy it very carefully. Then, the third part, I will talk about 6 types of overhead insulators. First one is pin insulators. Do you remember the object I showed you the first time? This is the pin insulators. They are used for supporting low voltage power lines. One piece of this insulator can be used on a conductor that conveys 11 kilovolts. Otherwise, these insulators are usually used on cables between 25 kilovolts and 44 kilovolts. The 4-piece insulator can even be used on 66 kilovolts conductors. Oh, I see some description here. Thank you very much. Then, a typical of 4-pin insulators comprises several shells which are arranged in parallel before being mounted on a tower or pole. The design of these insulators petticoats should be such that inner parts will always remain dry even when the outer surface is white. This helps to prevent electrical leakage. The top of the insulators allows the conductor to be bound into groove, which is then supported by galvanized pin. A symbol helps to prevent direct contacts between porcelain and pin. Then, what are the advantages of pin insulators? Cheap the other insulator types. Easy to construct. They can provide an efficient way of supporting connectors. However, they are only suitable for voltage below 50 kilovolts. Otherwise, they are bulky for the voltage above 50 kilovolts. Then, I want to talk about this post insulator. Line post insulators are mounted at electrical posts for transmission line. According to the usage and the position it's installed on the pole, the line post insulators are divided into several types. Tight top line post insulator, horizontal and vertical line post insulator, underarm line post insulators, and clip top line post insulators. Then, the third type of insulators is the stay insulators. It is a type of string insulators. It is widely used in medium and low voltage lines for rural and railways. Stay insulator is also called guy insulator or egg insulator. The fourth type of insulator is suspension type insulator. Suspension type insulator may be the right insulator for your conductors. It is good at insulating high voltage conductors. They can insulate conductor of up to 400 kilovolts. In terms of the construction, suspension insulator comprise porcelain discs, which are well arranged in series to form a straight-line structure. Then, what are the advantages of suspension insulators? If your insulator fails, it can be replaced as the other insulator remains intact. Cheaper for high operating voltage. The arrangement provides flexibility operation. The insulating capacity can be increased by adding more insulators. They can provide protection against lightning by use with steel tower. Then, the fifth type of insulator is string insulator. They are also called tension insulators. String insulators are used when the conductor is subjected to high tension while hanging over particular sections. Such as areas include sharp curves, river endings, and dead ends. In such areas, there is likely to be a sudden change of direction of the cable. The insulator plays the role of reducing tension. The design of string insulator gives it some significant physical strength and the dielectric properties. The two or even more insulators can be used in case the tension exceeds an expected limit. String insulators are ideally for high voltage power transmission. Otherwise, you should consider use a shackle insulator. Then the last type of insulator is shackle insulator. Do you remember this one? Yes, I showed you in the first time. It is also called a pole insulator. The shackle insulator is usually used for low voltage power lines. It is also considered an alternative to string insulator, only that it has a lower capacity. It can be connected both vertically or horizontally. The design of Shackle insulator comprises a hole, which is ensure that the load is equally distributed to all the directions. Shackle insulators are becoming less popular in recent years, as more and more people are embracing the use of underground power cables. So, let's turn into the next part. The 6 features of insulators. The first feature is the weight of the insulators are very light. Despite being manufactured from quality materials, these insulators carry minimum weight. This makes them easy to handle. Look, easy to handle, very easy to handle, as compared to most conventional ceramic insulators. Sorry. Second feature, high impact resistance. This feature makes them ideal for different kinds of environment. They're also shock and vibration tested. The third feature, they have high voltage resistance. As expected, the insulators can resist high voltage. This makes them applicable to all types of the electrical power system. The fourth feature is customized design. Although the insulators come in standard designs, you are free to request for customer designs, and we will avoid them. The fifth feature is air permeability. These insulators features an excellent air permeability. This simply means that they allow a seamless flow of air through them. The purpose of permeability is for heat management, especially on high voltage power transmission lines. The last feature is strong and durability. The insulators are sturdy and built to last for long. They also attract minimum maintenance cost. Thus comes one important part. I will give some tips when choosing the insulators. There are 6 tips I want to talk about. First one, the voltage head. This is the voltage that is passing through the conductor. You'll need to check before buying it. Secondly, the distance between the pole. You need to check whether the distance is wrong or not before you eventually choose the insulators. The third one, you need to check the materials of insulators. Some materials are suitable for certain conditions and not for others. The fourth one, the electric properties of the insulators. You need to check it before you buying it. And the fifth one, environmental conditions, such as temperature, rain, show, humidity. They can affect the insulating properties of the materials. So you need to carefully assess where you live before choosing an insulating materials. Then the last one, the cost of insulators. Although it may sound like a minor issue, it's important to consider the price of the insulator before buying. Buying cheap insulators may sound like a valuable option, but it's not always the best thing to do. So that is the tips of choosing the insulator. So they are what I want to talk about in today's speech. Let's have a review. Today I talk about the electrical insulators. Firstly, I talk about the insulators definition. What are they? What can they do? They can stop the flows to electrical wires, right? Yes. And then I talk about three categories materials of insulators. What are they? There are porcelain insulators, glass insulators, and polymer insulators. Then I talk about four primary specifications of the insulator. Right? What are they? Let's have a look. They are what? Yes, they are high mechanical strength to support the load, high electrical resistance to prevent the leakage of current. The insulating materials should be non-porous. The materials should be free of impurities. Then, I talk about 6 types of insulators. What are they? Do you remember? Yes, they are pin insulators, post insulators, stay insulators, suspension insulators, string insulators, and shackle insulators. Yes, they are very clever. Then I talk about 6 features of the insulators. And the last part, the very important part, I give you 6 tips when choosing insulators. If you want to know about us more, you can go to the front and have a look our live streaming. And there are also several live streaming before today's one. So if you're interested us, do remember to subscribe us at the bottom of the video. Very thank you for everyone for subscribe us. This is the end of today's live streaming, and next live streaming will be tomorrow. Our colleague Amanda will give you a nice speech. Thank you, everyone. Bye.